Occultists Anonymous and our Mage Chronicle Into the West. Thank you for joining us. It has been a couple weeks since we recorded. We missed it. But we're back.
Reference any events so as to not tell you when this was recorded.
Yes, we will not reference anything at all.
You ain't got no idea.
But we're back. I'm in a new space with new equipment. I've replaced at least 2 pieces since 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Cats. Anyways.
You replaced 2 of the cats?
Yeah, what the heck?
No, actually, the troublemaker is right there. If she comes back over here, she's going to get shamed on camera.
How'd she chew a wireless cord?
It wasn't wireless at the time.
We got to pick her up and wiggle her.
Thank you so much to all y'all who support and follow, subscribe, and all that kind of stuff. But yes, special shout out to our patrons who support us monetarily. 1D4Con James, Adele, Alis, Aiden, Alexander, Alstrit, Bernie, Chris, Doc, Emil, Ethan, Jeff, George. I finally finished my PhD. Camo, Cat Feathers,
congratulations.
Klaus, Michael, Milo V3, Boku, Mozart D Minor, Nexus, Nick, Other Guy, Perry, Foog, Polka Dot Hubris, Porter, Puppeteer, Riafio, Sheksara, Starfish, Terran, Terry D, Thomas, Verhex, Vincent, Vortex, and Zoltan. Thank you all so much for your support. It means a lot to us, especially with our changed up schedule. So who knows when you guys will see this episode? Hopefully not too long. I think
tomorrow.
I think this arc is coming to a spot, and then we'll jump forward.
Rapidly accelerating toward the brick wall of conflict.
Yes.
We can create that. Space 5.
Space 5, Matter 5.
It'll feel like bricks. It won't be actual bricks. It'll just be textured space.
Oh, excuse me. Matter 4. We aren't yet able to just snap our fingers and create matter yet. Somebody needs to get on that. Slacking.
Solid wall of conflict you could do with space and prime.
Yeah, there we go. That's what I'm talking about.
The truth of conflict.
Fantastic.
The barrier of
excellent.
Oh boy. Yeah, that's a question.
Excellent idea. It's happening.
Don't give him any more ideas.
He's the guardian of the crossroads.
Fair. When we last left our friends, the carnival had come to town twice after a what I thought was going to be a brief interlude of Catherine having a weird dream and became I put a mystery in front of mages. Of course they dived on it. I don't know what I was thinking.
A dream related mystery.
Also true. We had the Pentacle, the Diamond Order, and the Seers charging down as trains toward Little Purgatory Bluff. And what actually arrived that day were Spanish missionaries from Mexico City, led by Father Gabriel and Sister Natalia, representing the priesthood and convent specifically. And then there was a Protestant revivalist and abolitionists led by Brother Dexter Thompson and Sister Eliza Stewart. The gang met up with them in a kind of VIPs of Purgatory Bluff meeting, wherein they had a chance to chat with them all. I got, I wouldn't say tongue-tied so much as tongue swollen, and made a little bit of an exit quickly after conversations started up. And with, Madame Robert there and some other representatives we have not talked about, just other members of town. It's not like this was just our coven,
right?
So there was some socializing, and we realized that the Spanish missionaries are from Mexico City and they know Isabel's dad. Oh, that's interesting. And the Protestants kind of did a little nudge. Hey, we're cool guys, which I believe
very subtle,
right? And I also think that the coven are like, haha, you say you're cool, but I don't think you're really that. Oh, you're abolitionists. oh, okay, this might actually be kind of okay. No free passes, but we can at least start a conversation. Um, and I will put it to the party. If y'all
Mhm.
want to continue conversations and chatting with them there. Otherwise, we will basically fast forward um, from this kind of afternoon tea kind of meeting. And well, actually, I guess it was more they arrived with the dawn. So it's actually still more breakfasty.
Mhm.
Or we can fast forward to that evening and the we can. I think we can say festivities.
I'm curious to see their festivities.
Sure.
I'm anticipating with delight that no one's going to come out after dark, but we'll see what
Mhm.
happens.
Yeah. Let's see if people are like, I don't care about them lights. No, Harold, you know the rules. Nah, I gotta go get me some drugs.
Hang on, who's brought drugs?
Nah, it wouldn't be drugs.
Yeah.
I'm saying silly things.
No, this actually looked up these type of revivalists on the Protestants.
Mm-hmm.
Very into temperance.
Mhm.
Oh,
Like-
yeah. That's a good point.
These are some prohibitionists.
Yep. There
Yep.
we go.
Not pouring one out for the homies.
No. And it does kind of matter on the the individual level, but yes, they're very very prohibitionist, very abolitionist.
Mhm.
They were very much clean living and such like that. But it sounds like we are good for waiting until that evening.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
fine.
Okay, cool. So yeah, we have the Into the West, which is a Purgatory Bluff logo. Woo!
Yeah.
Oh, a Batman transition.
Right, editor Drew, get on that. It's not happening.
We all put our sunglasses on top of our sunglasses.
Right. But that evening, it's not sundown when these things are kicking off. They're definitely beforehand. People are walking around town in pre-electric lights. There is maybe a couple gas lamps that are lit, like outside Madame Robert's place, maybe outside the sheriff's house, not house, excuse me, the jail. Effectively, a couple of these points of light. And I'm actually kind of curious, Chris, and this may be an Ike thing. Um, do we have folks kind of walk in the streets, kind of patrol, citizens watch kind of thing, or do you think like, nah, we don't need that around here?
I don't think it's a regular thing, but I would probably have myself and like my deputies
Just occasionally, every
walking
now and
about.
then, do a little
during like something
like this.
boisterous happening. Yeah.
Sure. Okay,
Mhm.
I gotcha.
Makes sense.
But yeah, before even sundown, the revivalists are playing music. There's a piano. There are quite a couple other different instruments. As I was corrected earlier, the guitar, as we know of it, isn't actually around right yet. But we have other instruments. We have the fiddle.
It's close.
Yep. But yeah, we have music playing, and there's a little bit of singing, and naturally, it's just the nature of what it is. It's different. It's new. People are gonna go check it out, and there is loud speech and sermons and such like that. And for anybody who actually attends, the Father Gabriel and Sister Natalia are in attendance, as are some of the other Catholics, because, well, once the evening sets in, they're like, okay, well, let's go see what the hubbub is.
Party's party.
Correct. Madame Robert comes to an agreement to shut the tavern down for the evening, mostly because she's going to go see what the big hubbub is. And so the place is closed, and everybody who is anybody shows. Mostly because it's like you said, a party's a party. Whether or not you necessarily agree with, the religious intent. Yeah, like gonna say it, you still have a whole bunch of miners and lonely cowboys out here, and these revivalist meetings often bring quite a few young women there to in some cases for dancing. And and so I mean, Purgatory Bluff is, a decade has passed by, and we have definitely some familyizing of the town. We are not quite the heavily male mining town. It has started to expand, but not everybody wants to dance with their cousin or their second cousin. Much as Alejandro would, love for everybody to be part of the family. So yeah, it is a party under a big tent. It's not circus size, but it is a large tent set up graciously near or actually on like the Enright estate and the cattle grazing area out that way. Graciously set up there, and of course Ike is in attendance. So I asked y'all, because while I said everybody who's anybody is there, y'all don't necessarily have to be. Who might be there?
I think Theo would be like lurking in the dark, some distance away.
Sure. Like outside or in the tent?
Oh, outside.
Okay.
Theo is concerned because they're outside the city limits, like the town limits,
Are
right?
you talking about like the imp?
Yeah.
Oh no. We are well within that. That barrier goes well outside.
It's miles out.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Theo is concerned that somebody's going to be doing some shenanigans here, so she's just kind of lurking in the dark with her mage side up.
Okay.
Helena's definitely there and socializing.
Sure.
Probably same with Isabel.
Mm-hmm.
At the same time, I am on alert towards our visiting Catholic father and nun.
Sure.
So, like, I've always got sight on them.
Okay. What about Legba, Cloak?
Well, after the conversation in the morning, the first thing he would have done is check in with Les Enfants,
who are in attendance here.
Mm-hmm. Then after, he would have had a conversation with them about the liberated people that we're protecting, and he is currently hiding with his attainment.
Right next to the Spanish enclave.
Yes. So he would, talk to them about other ways, like temporarily hiding in Guinea, for example. He would use that kind of language. I didn't have a chance to talk to you about it, Drew, but Legba, when this happened during the day, would think about, okay, what's the best solution? If they're able to just pierce the attainment somehow and see them, that would be bad. We don't want people to see them. So what are the options? Can I put another level of obfuscation behind it? Put a spell behind the attainment? Could I put them in a pocket dimension temporarily? Right? Could I teleport them? Well, I couldn't teleport them somewhere. But could I what could he do? So he would then talk to Les Enfants, just discussing what they think would be a good approach without, of course, branching to magic specifically. And then he would check in with the Cabal, and then he would make a decision about how best to protect them, and then he would head over. So
Gotcha.
During the day, we don't have to role play any of that.
Right.
But
the big thing I will bring up is any additional magic that you put up is just more mystery, right? To draw, as opposed to right now, it's a space that you're designed not to see. Absolutely not, sir.
Yeah.
This minion is trying to get at my cables. Can you believe that?
Oh my God, so big.
Criminal. They're so big.
Oh my God, the cords.
Oh my God, so
light
big.
shines right on him. Vanta Black Cat But yeah. If you stand on my power button, sir.
Okay, good. So you're saying that because of how we designed it, just because it's deterring attention, it's actually adding some other layer of protection just in the event that somebody pierces it is probably going to attract more attention.
Right. As opposed to
cool.
right now where it's like, here's a shadowy thing.
Yeah.
If a mage is going to come digging around and looking for stuff, like
Yeah.
they're going to find it. You layering on additional spells is just more effectively Clash of Wills on a concealment spell, right? Versus what we have currently. And to be a little on the blunt side, not currently a concern for the folks who are here, right?
Sure.
It may be later that I will prompt you that you may need to take action as opposed to some forethought. But for now, yeah, they are concealed, hidden away. You probably let them know, hey guys, you probably can't come into town right now. I know there's this bunch of stuff going on, but we're in hiding, and all of them are like, yeah, we're in hiding. We're not coming out. They're still unsure of why hanging out in this area over here. I imagine there's probably like some mundane obfuscation, like a berm of dirt, right? That don't worry, they won't come over here. They can't see over the berm, whatever. And everybody's just like, it's hard to believe you, but okay. And
they're not gonna look over here.
No,
it's fine.
They're going to be distracted by, truthfully, everything that's happening up in town.
God. Yes. Okay, I know what to do next time.
Okay.
If there is an issue, I thought of it.
Nice.
We can proceed.
So Legbe is in the tent, or is similar to Theo and watching from the outside?
He's in the tent.
Okay. Cool. I'm glad you guys split the party just a little bit.
Well, we're all in the area.
Oh, yeah. But notably, somebody's
and we're
outside
all
of the tent.
telepathically chatting. Group chat is going to be lit tonight.
I also imagine that Catherine is with Theo.
Not necessarily. If she wants to go in and hang out.
Oh, no. I'm like, unless there's some reason you all think that she would go inside. No, I imagine she's with you. It also helps.
I do think there is a reason why she might want to go inside.
That's true.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
There we go.
That's true.
Exactly. That's one reason. Another reason is this is the consummation of her dream. So seeing how it all plays out might produce some insights for her, right? Like following the action, see what happens. Who knows? We're not the Acanthus, right?
Especially as an Acanthus. Yeah, that's exactly. I was like, right. I got to see how the story turns out. Yeah, so that's true. Yeah, she's probably in there. And as you said, Ralph, everybody's hooked up on the wireless network. And I'm trying to remember. Jules is in there as well. I'm trying to remember who.
We discussed that possibility.
Because we have Jules, and then one of the sheriff's
Messy J. Mm-hmm. No, I think it was Messy J. I think Chris suggested that Messy J become the sleepwalker.
Mm-hmm. And then did we not have wait, was
wow. Oh, was there a deputy? That was a sleepwalker?
Yes. Did we have a sleepwalker deputy?
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I didn't remember that. All right.
Yeah, there's Message A, and then there's another cool. I feel like it starts with a D.
Yeah, that's right.
I've lost the
That's fine. That's what we have Conka for. Shout out to Conka.
Was it someone that used to run one of the shifts at the mine?
Maybe.
Yeah, these immediately jumped to mind. But yes, we do. I know we have
Dominique.
Dominique? Okay.
Wasn't it? That sounds right. Oh, look.
That's fine.
But yeah. We have, rewinding my point, we have everybody of the Witches of Purgatory Bluff mystery cult, nameless order, hooked up onto the telepathy tonight, because hey, stuff is happening. We know there are mages from outside who are here. We don't know them. We trust some of them a little bit, and then there's others we don't trust at all. And so everybody's just aware. So cool. I like that. Inside, it definitely feels like a party. There's dancing on a nice wooden floor that's been put out. Everything else is kind of dirt, packed down turf and stuff like that. There's music playing. There is ice that's been brought in on wagons.
From where? From where?
From the north. It's actually not entirely uncommon for ice to make it all the way down to Mexico, as packed into ice boxes and such. But yeah, it would be a rare commodity. But in this particular case, that's the whole reason. You can come in, and as the sun is setting, get a cold drink, which is a novel concept, and just it is a big social situation. The kids are running around. It is probably the biggest party Purgatory Bluff has had. Y'all have put on some different festivals and stuff like that, but you're bringing this outside source of entertainment, new folks, new people to talk to and meet. It is a lively, happy experience. There's some music and dancing, and then it'll stop, and one of the like Brother Dexter will stand up, or Sister Eliza, or any of the other kind of leadership of the Protestants will get up and say a couple things and read some verses, and there's some clapping, and then there's the okay, let's start the music back up. Like this is so it is a continual high energy thing. They don't let it down. They don't it's not a doom and gloom, fire and brimstone kind of sermon. The whole point of it is to be happy and exciting. And it definitely, it feels like it in here. Prime Site is picking up some really good, high energy resonance. Everything is on the positive side of things. Ike is doing his best to be seen, and is glad handing and talking with people and coming down to speak with Brother Dexter, and is really, really trying to push the whole he's the mayor, he's the guy who leads the town. So that's kind of the tone inside. Outside, Theodosia, would you be so kind as to roll a Gnosis plus, I guess it would probably be Prime, Clash of Wills.
Ooh.
Oh no.
Ooh.
It's all right. She's good at this.
Clash of Wills.
Lash them wills.
Brain, did I have something to boost that?
You could spend willpower on it. Actually, no, it's not clashing against one of your spells. It's just your mage site. So, no.
You can spend willpower. You can always spend willpower.
Yeah.
On Clash of Wills?
Mm-hmm.
Sure. Oh, the caveat for mages is they can do it when they're not present. That's right. On their spells. That's right. Okay, yeah. So you could spend willpower for +3. Thank you.
I think other splats can't.
Right, because they are not present.
Clash of Wills at all.
Yeah. Because the mage is not present. The spells are present, baby. You're there. Sympathetically speaking.
Connected.
Forgive me. Willpower is 3?
Yes.
1?
Yep. 3.
You are so forgiven.
2 successes. Oh boy, on 13 dice. Craig, this is not how we start the nothing. Nothing happens. You don't notice anything.
But do you know
But I
that
noticed
there was a
clash of wills,
clash?
right?
You know when when something is clashing against your spells. It's the exact description. You don't necessarily know if
you fail a clash against somebody else's spell, you don't realize you've clashed against their spell.
Right.
But they
okay.
know
Yeah.
that someone was looking at them.
Correct. So with that, could you make a wits plus I almost said wits plus perception.
Composure?
Thank you. Wits plus
Wits plus
composure. A perception check at -3.
I'll cancel out the -3.
Sure. The willpower. Yep. What it's
Do
there for.
it, baby. Oh, what?
Nope.
No.
It doesn't seem right.
You're rolling like me.
You're rolling like Chris. Yeah, Theo, you are on watch. You are doing your best, but dramatic irony, we know something has slipped by Theodosia.
What you don't see.
Yeah, what you don't see. Yeah, well, actually, what I'll go ahead and say is what you don't see is somebody leaving the tent and heading up the hill behind the town.
Oh, that's not good.
Nope, sure isn't. Inside, who's everybody chatting with? Is there a specific person? Is there a goal in mind? Basically, I'm going to prompt you for a some form of social role to see how you're doing.
Yeah, totally.
I'm talking with the Catholics.
Gotcha. A couple of visitors. Actually, in this case, it's just going to be the 2 of them.
Yep.
Okay. In what way are we talking with the Sheriff Isabel? Is this a intimidation role or
No?
For crying out loud.
Isabel doesn't intimidate. She got 1 dot of it.
Sure, fair enough. Yeah. So what is your goal in chatting with them? End game.
The goal is to wait. In game or in?
No. Sorry, end game. What is the
end game? I want to bring up my father and their connection to him again. And basically just be like, that's fine. It's good to know that he's alive, I guess. But make it clear that his blood being in my veins does not offer any
Traction?
Connection between their organizations and this town.
Gotcha. Okay, cool. Yeah, I'm good with that being a couple different things: empathy or persuasion.
Yeah.
Probably
yeah, I think it's persuasion. I think it's manipulation and persuasion. It's just like talking through, and she's like, I mean, classic Isabel thing of sort of running people in circles and talking around them and baiting them down into saying something that she then already had a perfect counter for and stuff like that.
A lot of, it's nice to know that he's alive, and I'm not going to be aggressive about this, but you don't have any stake here. Hey, wonderful.
That's a fiver.
Yeah,
that's a fiver.
So I think with the 5 successes, the exceptional success, this is it comes across politely, right? It is very clear. It's like, oh, okay, and less of a we're the free council in proto free council, and we would love to string y'all up, and or actually this is the Wild West, run you out of town, but yeah, no, it's taken more of like, oh, we're not interested. Thanks though. We appreciate you coming
Right.
by. Not interested. Yeah,
It's not quite don't let the door hit you, but it's pretty close.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like that definitely comes across. Ash or
How do they
Ralph?
follow and respond to that?
No, that's specifically it.
Okay.
They're like, oh, okay, like we have made this connection. We know that you are connected back to Mexico City,
Yeah.
but you guys aren't affiliated with the Sears, and you're not, ready to jump on. But it also doesn't come across as, no, we signed up with the Diamond Order or anything like that.
I think the core thing is whatever your goal here in this town is, don't try and leverage the fact that you know my father.
Right.
That's not going to hold
Ooh, that's
anything,
good.
right?
Cool. Yeah.
That means
great.
nothing to me.
Yeah.
Mhm.
More meta kind of thing is they are thinking of you more as here in a little while we have the technocracy and the whole idea of like, oh, come and join us, nameless orders, and they're like, oh, we'll put them down for that. Like they might be now that isn't going to happen. We all know that, but for their purposes right now, they're like, oh, okay, this is some folks that we can come talk to later. But right
Maybe
now,
come back later.
right? Yeah. Ash or Ralph have who are you chatting with?
I feel like Helena's probably talking to the Jesuits. Both legitimately as like their front of like they want to come make a missionary. Well, the Catholics are the ones wanting to build the mission, but these guys are talking about like building a school, right?
Right. The school would be in the mission.
So, yeah, both like publicly they're having that conversation, but also she's trying to just get information about like what's going on back east. Why are you here really?
Gotcha. Well, the Jesuits are part of that Spanish squad coming up from Mexico City, so I don't know how much they're going to know.
Those ones. No, I mean the other ones.
The Protestants.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, because they aren't interested in making a school. But yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But chatting with the Protestants, trying to figure out what's going on, especially because they did originate back in New York City.
New York City.
And have made their way all this way.
On
Yeah,
pace.
just like what I know y'all are doing abolition things, good works. Why are you here?
Gotcha. Yeah, let's get probably a socialize. Or if you're trying to be more subtle, subterfuge maybe. To try and, pry some information out of them, casually.
I have 1 point in socialize. It would be that and wits.
I can absolutely see this as a wits thing.
Heck yeah.
The dice say 1 success. I like it. Yeah. Yeah, they're happy to chat with the I don't want to say surface information. Yeah, but the basic going-ons of I guess we can say their cabal of like they left New York and joined up with this. Well, hang on. Are you talking with the Protestants in general, or are you talking about the mages?
The mages.
Okay, just making sure. Yeah, for them, their cabal has basically grafted onto this movement and then kind of taken it over rather slowly and subtly, because fate suggested that they do.
Oh.
And so they
Guys, fucking guardians.
Yeah, they basically got a couple signals and a lot of like, oh, you're Not necessarily that your life is going to be better by joining this, because that's not what they're interested in, and more of, great revelations and such would come to them by coming along and joining this troop months ago. And so they've been following this to see where it goes, and it ends up being, like I said, very small talk kind of conversation of, yeah, that's how we started. We've seen some interesting things along the way, met some other mages, and it's just very non-committal, not giving you a lot beyond. We cast a fate spell one day, and it said we should join this movement heading out west, and you're going, that's sure. What about Legba?
Ooh, yeah. So Legba's going to try and weave tales about what he's going to do. These are abolitionists. Okay, he's going to tell parables. He's going to recite parables, some of the parables from the New Testament, and he believes it'll be a receptive audience. And after he's done each of them, he will try and tie it into something that's happening. So what parable would he tell? Let me think. First one he tells, weeds among the wheat. Afterward, he talks, he then uses as an entry to talk about how deliberate the town of Purgatory Bluff is.
Mm-hmm.
It is not some town full of people who have nowhere else to be. Everyone here wants to be here.
Yeah, ages ago that might have been true, but now people are here because they want to be in Purgatory Bluff.
Because they want to be in Purgatory Bluff. It is a town of towering wheat, and we will not allow weeds to take root.
It's a good one. I like that.
We are cool. Yes, go ahead.
Are you delivering this basically on the stage? Like,
what he would start doing is not trying to make this a performance at first, just trying to be as indirect and expressive as possible. He's trying to see how people will respond to his words at this point, after so long of being a religious leader and a mage and all this stuff, right? Then, if he's invited to do so, he would then take the opportunity to say something more heavy-handed. At first, he's just talking to people, and he's sharing with them some of his own thoughts, much in the same way that in Bible study, right, there's a Bible study leader, and people might be encouraging you and leading you through an appreciation of different passages, right? He is calling for a parable he was thinking of today, and he likes a lot, and then he uses it as an entry point to share his thoughts about the town with people who might be curious about it. And then, yes, if there's an opportunity to go up, he would say something more heavy-handed.
Let's do your favorite. Let's do an expression roll.
All right.
And yeah, if we get an exceptional success, we definitely go from like, this quiet conversation over to the side, which you are, cloak. There is the already standing status of being a religious leader here. You're not, Father, I can't remember his name, or the pastor in town, but people do, you led Les Enfants until people aren't quite sure what happened, and now you don't, but you are still clearly a respected elder, stuff like that.
Great.
And yeah, we hit that exceptional success. I am sure you will.
Cool.
And we will shift over to the Protestants, maybe encouraging you to stand up and speak.
Awesome. Fantastic. So then, I'll spend a willpower. Spend that willy, everybody. Let's see.
It should be wrote, right?
It could be wrote if he's. Oh yes, I will make it
professional
wrote.
training.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah. Yes, I will make it wrote. Yeah, totally.
Because I feel like these guys would definitely recognize a preacher.
Let's see.
Yep.
Ooh, baby.
8 successes on 9 dice.
That'll do it.
That's
and that's without making. Oh, it is with it being wrote. Excuse me.
That is wrote. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's weird that it puts Dine A for the 9 again, but for road it doesn't actually pop anything up.
I didn't. Let's see. Did he get extra successes from the road? Let's see what the rerolled ones. Okay, 1 rerolled and became a 10. The 10 got rerolled and it was a 2. 9 to a 3. Trying to see how many extra successes you got. Nope.
Because the last one was a 1 that rerolled to a 10.
Yep.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, so 2 1s got rerolled to 10s. That's a nice turnout. Nice.
But yeah, so it starts as like between like somebody comes up and speaks, and then the music starts up and people start dancing, but you know, Legba's like, I'm not really interested in the dancing. Actually, that reminds me of a parable, and you start talking, you know, that corner conversation, and
yes, exactly.
I
like how you described that.
Sister Eliza comes over, you know, because let's be honest, if somebody in Purgatory Bluff is over here commanding, you know, a circle of people discussing, the Protestants get like, oh, hang on, okay, this is good, and you know, we've had prior conversation at the bar at Madame Robert, and eventually it's like, oh, that's such a. Could you bring, you know, and bring that up because of course they are not necessarily co-opting yours, but it's like, oh yes, here's a member of Purgatory Bluff speaking at our meeting, at you know, and basically giving themselves some credibility, but also you get to stand on stage and be like, yo, weeds.
Yeah, exactly.
Not having
exactly.
Yep. I like that. All right. So it is sometime after I think Legba has a bit of time to speak up top, and you know, you guys kind of do this little mental check-in with how everybody's doing, and Jules says, has anybody seen sorry, new mouse, bad at aiming. Has anybody seen Sister Natalia in a minute? And just a quick like check in, and everybody is like,
I would have been watching for her.
That's true. Actually, that
Yes.
is.
I was talking to her.
You were, but the point is like there was that conversation.
It's been a bit of time.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly. But yeah, that's true. Ash, you did absolutely say you were keeping an eye on her. So let us go ahead and do a wits plus composure. I don't remember if you have a merit for perception.
I have a trained observer.
Do you remember is that the 2 or 4?
It's I have 3 dots on it.
Oh, okay. Maybe it's 2 or 3.
Yeah,
It's
it's 2 or 3.
Gotcha.
So that gives you 8 again. Here I am.
Yeah, it gives you 8 again.
At that moment when I realized I didn't actually have the mage books open.
I got 4. Wait, no, why did it roll? Oh, wait, that's willpower. Okay.
Yep. All right, good stuff. Yeah, with 3 successes, as Jules says that, you're like, yeah, no, I see her. As she is surreptitiously leaving out one of the back entrances of the tent. You know, you've got the great wide open tent front that everybody's coming through, light is pouring out. This leads back towards the wagons and the supplies and stuff like that. And it's like, where are you going, ma'am? And I will go ahead and give you, with your, you know, keeping an eye on her, she is unnaturally stealthy in this process. We already know that these folks are probably mages, but yeah, watching it, it's a little bit difficult to keep an eye on her, but at the same time, that kind of tingles that prime sight. You're just like, okay, watching. And it is not quite to the point of incognito presence, where one just kind of absolutely disappears, but this more of a forces. Well, would it be forces?
Is she being invisible?
She's not being completely invisible. Actually, I would say this is more of a fate thing, where
you just kind of don't want to look at her.
You just happen to look away. Something else happens to distract you. kind of situation, and Helena is like, no, not looking away, which probably gets your back up a little bit. It was like, something is happening near me constantly, trying to distract me. I'm like, nope, watching, and so Helena, you're able to be like, no, I see her, and she's gone out the back way. So is Helena following, or Theodosia, are you like, I'm out here, I'll find her?
Well, I don't know if Theo is aware, right?
Well, I just said.
Oh, you said over the link. I'm sorry. Yes. Yeah.
I'm really amused by the idea that Helena just follows people around and doesn't explain. Like what happened when we were in Camelot. She's so good at it.
Yeah, I think I'm definitely going to try to slip out and keep an eye on her. Also, just because if she's up to something, I don't want to leave Theo alone.
Sure.
I feel like it's safer if we have a couple of us.
Buddy system, sure. Yes, Craig?
I know what I want to do, but I'm not sure how to do it.
Well, let me know. What do you want to do?
I want to like kneel down and place my hand against the earth.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to like get an echolocation ping on where she is. Direction.
That feels more like a Matter 3 thing. For you to basically have a new sense. That's classic. Weaving gives you new abilities and new senses and stuff like that. Though I guess unveiling could also be considered that way. But yeah, weaving, I'm giving myself tremor sense. The sense of like, I like that. Because that's not something you got a ton of dice in. Yeah, let's actually roll that up a little bit. I think that's probably a duration spell, and you may need some scale for area.
Another way to think of it is she's perfecting the tremors that go through the ground so that she's actually able to perceive them. Even though most of them be absorbed, right? There's still some aspect of the matter that's going to be affected. So, at least that's how I think of it.
Yeah. And while Theo is rolling that up, Ash, how would you like to stealthily exit and follow? So I can see this being like a social subterfuge thing. Dexterity plus stealth is the classic, but you are in a brightly lit tent with lots of people.
I was actually considering just trying to make myself invisible.
Sure.
Like attempt to sort of break line of sight and just not come out the other side. But
yeah, I'll give you one. It will require a dexterity and probably stealth roll to do so. I won't have you roll invisibility because that's well within your thing. But this is the like, they've got all their stuff laid out for drink and stuff like that, and the ice cubes, and this is just you kind of ducking down behind something, just breaking that line of sight.
I like it.
And then just and then disappearing. Tremor sense 18, 5, 4. Wait, you have 4 in?
That's
I thought you had 3. Oh, 4. Okay, my bad. Yeah. Well, welcome to having 5 gnosis and 4 in an arcana. You start base 9. Yeah. A little bit of paradox. I will have to try and keep track of this. Oh boy, gnosis 5. 3
dice. 3 dice.
Craig, are you spending the 3 mana to get rid of that?
I will spend the 3 mana to get rid of that.
All right, so my dinky little chance die. What a surprise. Don't be afraid of paradox, kids. 18 dice, Craig.
Hubris is a coward's word.
Oh, very nice. You can get that mana back.
I will get that mana back.
As you get kind of inundated with perception It's something that probably Isabel has talked about when you do like Web of Life. You got to be like, whoa. You gotta tamp down that over. You got to dial the gain down a little bit. So yeah, you have a bunch of footsteps, and oh no, they're dancing again. And it's like, okay, I gotta look past all that, look for that one that's out there. And then yeah, Ash, if you can do some form of stealthiness here.
I said it would be dexterity and stealth.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have any points in stealth.
Oh no! Well, it'll only be a -1.
Yeah, I'm
Who
gonna
needs it when you got a
spend willpower
blazing
and hope.
sword?
Yeah,
I want
stealth
you to
doesn't
see me.
really.
No.
I want you to see me.
Yeah. Blazing sword, big old angel wings.
Oh, yeah,
Hey,
wait, it
that's
says-
not bad.
Why is it 8 again?
Yeah.
Oh, it didn't matter. Okay.
Yep. 6, 5. Oh yeah, sure didn't. Cool. Yeah. So you just kind of duck down behind a thing and cast invisibility in a single action. You only need to be invisible for a couple seconds, and yeah, that's no big deal. Just invisible and just casually saunter on and follow, which Theo is able to keep track of. And I'm imagining the super tactical communication mentally. I'm following her up. Got you on scope. Because that's exactly how they sound. Actually, you know what? It might actually be close to how Helena sounds. Helena drops into the adamantine arrow aspect.
You know what the cool part is too? How we imagine where we are and how people see us, right? We can layer it over almost like a green screen. I imagine at this point when we're like sharing thoughts, we want to share images of where people are.
Oh, with the telepathy.
Like on a smartphone, right? Where we take an image, a screenshot, and then draw on it, right?
Yep.
We can communicate some of
Here's
those
this
things.
thought,
It might
here's
not be
that
as
thought.
elegant, but
Yeah.
yes.
The poor newbies, though, they're like, there's a lot going on in here. And you're like, yeah. Shush.
You'll get used to it. It's fine.
Yeah.
I like that. Okay, so you two are heading out. Is any reaction from Legba and Isabel?
Depends on the timing of it.
It's like while you're giving your talk.
Because this is right as like actually I will say she is absolutely using your speech and teaching to like, oh, this is my chance. Everybody has turned, and she's like, oh, this is a good spot. I'm out.
Great. The single thought that Legba will then share with the group is use the distraction to your advantage.
Good idea. Sure.
If she's going to do that, everyone else can do that too.
Mm-hmm. That also kind of helps and kind of explains Helena's sudden disappearance. Cool. I like that. Chris?
I'm gonna
Not that an action needs to be taken. I'm just checking in with everybody.
What if spirits are around?
Ooh, yeah.
A whole lot of joy. There's some of the, well, actually, no, not joy. As we determined, we don't have emotional spirits into the West. Yeah, but there is quite a bit of sound, noise, music. Oh my gosh!
There's probably a spirit of the gathering, right? Of the tent.
Actually, 100%, there is a spirit of the revivalist little group here. Yeah.
Basically, I want to express to it that someone has turned their back on the gathering.
Ooh.
Has left the tent.
That's good.
And I'd like to be able to know where they went.
Oh.
Okay. How would we do that? Well, Mage Sight plus Amanda lets you converse with them.
Rank 4 also helps.
Yeah. Isabel having spirit is plenty for kind of throwing some weight around, but I guess you could probably just kind of pull to the side, and especially once you spend that mana, now it's able to interact with you. All of a sudden, you become very interesting. Yeah. Okay. Cool. What does this spirit even look like? Oh, I know exactly what this spirit looks like. This spirit looks like basically one of these Protestants, one of these teachers, right? But it is absolutely it is the AI generated version of one of the, right? It's like it has
so good.
all the right look in all the wrong ways. Like
Great.
Deeply in the uncanny valley.
Well, and beyond that, like its
suit and beard and everything are all just its body.
Correct. Yes. Like it doesn't have clothes. It just has its body. And so it is a body that looks like an attempt at clothing and what it thinks it's seeing, because it doesn't quite get the concept of clothes.
I just love the idea of this spirit like looking at these people and trying to like reassemble itself to emulate them.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's so good.
More or less.
Not even like reassemble itself. It's literally birthed from their.
Correct.
They're doing this.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And it concentrates over time.
Yep. So
yeah, I think she just tries to convince him that someone has turned their back on the gathering, and I think she doesn't take the time to like analyze this thing. It's just like, this seems like something that would piss this thing off.
Right, like you're losing resonance.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, cool. I'm gonna pause you because you're gonna have to talk to it, so it's gonna take a couple. But for Helena, as you are coming behind it, and Theo are coming around the tent. Excuse me.
I do also want to just like, why did Jules ask us to look for her? Like, has Jules seen anything out of the ordinary?
Good question. Jules very quickly mentions, no, I'm just trying to keep track of all the known mages right now. He's doing very similar to all y'all. And he's like, wait, hang on, I lost track of her. And Helen is like, it's cool, I got it. If you hadn't rolled well, that it would have been one of those like, oh, actually, where did she go? So okay, sorry, Craig hadn't moved for a second. You blinked. So Theo and Helena more or less kind of come around from the outside of the tent and kind of following, and she is also, of course, for y'all, the first person starting to head up towards the hill. From up here at Ike's place, it's across the pasture and past the house, but she is making a clear beeline towards the top of the hill.
Of course, everyone wants to take our mysteries, violating the rules.
So yeah, the two of you definitely have that a line of sight. For Helena, you're struggling, but you like you said, you have mage sight on prime. It's there. Here's a spell trotting along. For Theo, don't even bother with that. I'm just following the set of footsteps, right? So a little bit later, and probably about the time you're getting this telepathically, Chris, Isabel has this very haughty, grumpy spirit saying, oh, now that you mention it, yes, I see her. She's, she's left my reach. She's left the tent and is headed off that direction. But the spirit doesn't actually seem all too upset, because one person leaving, okay, that's a bummer. There's a lot of resonance here for it to drink up. Are you attempting to kind of nudge it and send it after Sister Natalia, or is this more of a information gathering?
Yeah, could I try and convince it to like use its influence on her?
Oh yeah, awesome. I love it. Do it.
Yeah, that's definitely going to be that persuasion.
Yep.
And I believe you can add your rank as status. Is that it? Or what's... We so rarely get to use that attainment.
Right?
Spirit may spend a point of mana to reduce his spirit's doors against her social maneuvering by 1, which I'll just kind of factor in here.
Sure.
Let's add your difference in rank. So take a free +2 to your persuasion check.
Heck yeah.
6 successes.
Yeah, the spirit kind of looks and says, yeah, she does belong here, and just kind of like is in Twilight anyways, and just moves through the tent wall, because the tent wall, as you watch, you
It is its own body, right?
Correct. Like you have this this sudden understanding of that, like you are effectively sitting in this spirit
Inside
and
of it,
it fills the tent, and you just have this moment of like kind of feeling like I'm inside it.
Doesn't bother her.
It's a thesis. Yeah, you're like whatever.
Literally in the belly of the beast.
Yep.
Not a problem.
Not a problem. I am the bigger beast.
Wait, do I need to remind you what just happened a week ago?
That's fair. There was this spider lady.
Yeah.
So it kind of lurks its way out. I imagine you say something telepathically, because neither.
I'm gonna have the tent convince her to come back.
What?
What part of that doesn't make sense?
Theo just files out into, this is a thing that's going to happen. I don't know what it means, but
it was a thing that's happening. Yeah, because I was like, oh yeah,
It's just this like another instance of like Petrichor just having this sort of attitude of like, if you want to understand when I add to this conversation, you should study spirit.
Yep.
I'm not going to dumb down what I'm saying.
Like y'all talk about crime shit all the time.
All the time.
It has been an option. It has been an option the whole time. Yep. 1 dot. I will teach you. It's been an option.
Do some
just to get mage sight.
You
just to be able to see them.
But okay, that's fun. Okay, I like where this is going. So, Theodosia, you were Babasariing along.
Yeah.
Helen,
turning that into a verb.
Yeah. Well, because
I go killing again.
Well, I'm imagining the lantern, right? And for Ash, Helena is probably just looking like Helena. I don't think she's like really dropping into B max. She's invisible anyway, so it doesn't really matter.
But right now she's still trying to if she does get caught, she wants to be seen as herself. Yeah.
Right. Okay, I like that. Both of you have mage sight on, I believe.
Yeah.
I don't think so.
Okay. Yeah. Sorry, I must have imagined that in my head that you had said that. That's fine.
Just because the hit you take to your like mundane perception.
Correct. But in this particular case, you're going to be rolling prime, Endosis and prime versus wits and composure to spot things, magically speaking. So that's why I was kind of on that assumption. It is up to you. So Theodosia, you see this happen. Ash, Helena gets a peripheral mage sight tingle as something passes by, and then Sister Natalia turns and makes a motion that feels vaguely exorcist-esque.
Ooh.
Is she within like speaking range now, or is it?
No, she's got a good head start on you, especially because you're kind of playing catch up. It's definitely like within vision. She is in shouting range.
Can I try to counterspell whatever she's doing?
This is why I was
You
asking
had
if you have
mage sight
mage
on.
sight on. You can
Fantastic.
turn prime sight on reflexively, which is very
Yeah,
convenient.
when I feel the
So you can do that
Well,
reflexively.
It's
And
already on too.
well, no, that's because that's why I was.
Oh,
asking.
she didn't have it on.
Right.
Gotcha. Fair
no
enough.
for my
Yeah.
like walking through the up the
Yeah.
hill. I was gonna
Makes
have
sense.
my normal eyes on.
Yeah,
Cool.
but
Oh,
this is
I
But I
was
could
fine.
Gnosis Prime to counterspell.
correct. Both of you can do Gnosis Prime -2, because neither of you have Spirit, but you do have Prime 2, so you have Universal Counterspell. Actually, let me scroll back, double check. We were talking about this in chat literally this week, and it made me laugh. Universal Counterspell. Oh, excuse me. You do not take a -2.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yep.
It's just Gnosis and Prime then.
Mm-hmm.
So 4 successes for me.
Very nice.
4 successes for me.
Cool. And let me double check the rules because it's a clash of wills, effectively.
Just both of us smacking down.
Trying to.
Yeah.
She'll get like 18 successes or something.
Like she's about to punch the spirit, and both you come up and grab her fist. Cue anime fight music.
3 successes. Yeah. So she turns and like you are able, like I said, you're at shouting distance. So you're able to see her a little bit. And she makes this motion. You see supernal symbols kind of coming and forming. And Helena is doing this like classic adamantine era reflexively. Mage sight up, whatever it is, I don't want to stop it. Theodosia is able to see this happening just a little bit more and also agrees, nah, none of that. And between the two of you, just the spell just gets absolutely ripped apart. Never has a chance to form. Her eyes get a little wide because she wasn't expecting her spell to be counterspelled of all things. And something seems to grab hold of her, not in a physical sense, but just like her body kind of jolts and like she is not in control of her faculties and herself. And
She
then
possessed.
very zombie robotically awkwardly how to use feet turns back and starts walking back towards the tent.
Incredible.
You said the spirit looked AI generated, and now the spirit is producing an AI generated video of a person walking. This is what humans do.
Yeah, this is the what is it? The machine learning how to make this body move. Yeah.
So through our Bluetooth link, like, but do we want to maybe reinforce the knowledge in her mind that she was told this area was claimed? She was up on the hill.
She has
She was
violated the
heading
terms.
towards the hill. Yeah.
Is she
So-
coming back?
Yeah, she's on her way back.
Yeah, she's
Well,
Isabel is like, no, tell me how I solved this. Yes.
Something is
something's
driving
coming
her.
back.
Something
her
is
body
driving
back,
her.
No, I know we don't generally keep score on who solves what problems, but
This
but
one
yeah.
was spirit.
Legba says, "You are the sheriff."
She did try to
I
counterspell
think
whatever
just-
the.
well, no, because I don't think that we can. I mean, if y'all don't say you counterspelled it, then it'd be like we haven't done anything to her yet. So let her come back to the party, and I'll take care of it.
Okay.
I like that.
Yeah. In the meantime, I want to go.
To the top
I
of the
want
hill.
to. Yeah, because that's where she was going, and I want to know why.
Yeah.
I mean,
like
I know what's
mean,
up there.
for
but-
anybody else, right? Anybody else looking, this is a woman who's just kind of walking out to the wilderness. But for all of you, you kind of consult your mental mini map, and it's like, wow, that is a beeline to where the telescope used to be.
Mhm.
She's violating permission to evaluate our mysteries.
So
She is encroached.
Uh,
That's all he says. He doesn't say something specific should happen,
Right.
but that's his attitude.
for Helena, you're invisible, so you just kind of sidestep and just let her walk past, and you can see there's potentially a little bit of sympathy that you might feel for her, because her eyes are very, very wide and very not okay. For Craig, because you're not invisible, I imagine you're just kind of being a little bit more withdrawn. So you probably don't get quite that same view.
I'm just
Can
like
I
a
ask a
shadow looming
question?
in the dark with a blue lantern.
What's up?
Can I ask a quick question? I imagine because Helena hip fired naturally like an arrow, like plow, right? But then I'm imagining that Baba Sarah, right, is doing the like crone hand, like moving aside the like the spider web with like a gnarled position of the hand, right, like that. And so then if it would be hilarious if when the sister comes back, she's also beckoning her with that hand in the darkness behind the lantern.
Why don't you go back to the tent,
Yes,
sweetie?
yeah, yes, exactly.
I think. Go ahead.
Once Isabel is told that Sister Natalia is on her way back, she'll like get back into conversation with what's the priest name? Father
Gabriel.
Oh, I had to lose the G. I was like, Gerald? No.
Oh, the G's cool.
Yeah.
He's chill like that.
He's cool.
Yeah.
Gabriel.
Turns chair around backwards. Yeah, yep. Exactly. You know who else has and she'll just very calmly say, I believe Sister Natalia is on her way back to the tent. She might not be feeling well. You might want to escort her back to your caravan.
Your camp.
Yeah.
Okay. We'll put a pin there. But yeah, he definitely like has a like, what are you talking about? Like concern expression. But yeah, for our two outside the tent, the two of you kind of like bypass Sister Natalia and make your way over towards the telescope. Yeah, that's true. Ash, you had said, I know what's up there. I was like, yeah, of course you do. No, Helena has had a really good look. I had forgotten about that.
Yeah.
And you approach, and there is something different about the area. You can't quite put your finger on it immediately, but if the two of you would like to use some Gnosis and Prime to try and sniff out this mystery, and Helena goes like, I'm not looking up. But yeah, there something has changed in this space. There's some tingle of leftover magic.
Can you do willpower on this?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
7. Good lord.
Oh,
Baba Sarah did not come to play.
I only got 2.
That's
I got something.
Yeah.
Yes.
This is that like we're putting our head together, pointing stuff out kind of situation. And between the two of you looking at stuff, cross-referencing notes, because there's been quite a bit of stuff here. Like Rilla's awakening happened here, and there is still lingering juju in this area from that. There we are. But you have a definite signature nimbus in this area that you're immediately like able to pick up, and like it would take a little bit more work to try and figure out what spell or work was done here. But the signature nimbus stands out. The wood paneling that was already kind of worn out looks very worn out. And otherwise it looks swept clean, barren. It gives you in like immediately you're like, oh, this is one of them.
Wanted to come over and take a gander.
Yes. So it is definitely a familiar nimbus for you all. I don't remember if you had figured out whose nimbus this was, but you definitely know that it is one of the serpents.
It's one of them.
Yep. Something had come through prior to Sister Natalia even reaching over here.
Because she never made it over here.
Nope. She was headed this way, and then, yep.
Just mentally being like, one of them is here.
here or was here a moment ago.
Legba says, first you hear a growl in his mind, and then he says, I think Camelot is owed a visit.
Sure.
Yeah.
So as you're stepping off the stage, is Astral Legba headed to Camelot?
Yep.
Very good.
Mm-hmm.
So our two gals at the top of the hill, are you guys staying here or are you headed back to the tent? Further investigation or heading back to the tent?
I want to investigate further. Like, I want to look around and see if I can see anyone.
Sure.
First of all,
I will go ahead and tell you, you do that big pan around kind of thing. Yeah, there's nobody else here. Mage sight, like nothing. So whoever was here, whatever gander, whatever serpent was here is no longer here. Now you may be able to find traces of their passage and stuff like that. Or you can look into whatever spell was cast here.
That's what I want. I want to know what they've done.
Okay. Craig, what's Theo up to? Just broadly speaking. Staying here back to...
I think parking here to make sure there's no more trouble tonight.
Okay.
But that Nimbus is troubling.
Sure. Okay. So yeah, we cut back to Isabel, who I imagine you're not letting Father G out of sight. Yeah, okay.
Nope.
We're just gonna hang out here and be sociable until Sister Natalia comes, kind of, and
We
like
can go wait by the entrance to the tent for her.
Okay, gotcha. to kind of help escort her in.
She's having some trouble walking.
Yeah, she's having she's having a time. As you get closer, and it's because you have your spirit mage sight up, and yeah, you can see the overlay of the spirit. I'm a real boy walking.
It's so funny.
And gets to the tent, and then detaches itself with a very clear, proud of himself expression, and just
did a
like
good job.
And immediately just like drawn right back into, like, bypassing you, drawn into the center of the tent, and you just watch it just drink up more of the resonance and the essence, because had to burn some to do the possession, but it's just like enjoying
Does
itself.
he look any less uncanny valley now from having had the experience of being in a body?
No.
No,
that's him.
Yeah, that's him.
That's him.
So maybe he would learn how to do it right. No,
He did it right. It worked.
Going to be a little bit before, yeah. Man, talk. When we get around to like
rank up a
rank
couple
3,
times.
yeah, rank 3, rank 4.
Until he starts living in a mega church in the 1980s.
Oh god. Yeah. So, and Sister Natalia like has a little bit of a stumble, gets her feet placed, and like has a surprised expression, and then just like the absolutely pure, unadulterated blush of embarrassment, of just being like completely caught out, right? Tried to sneak out, got caught, got walked back by a thing that she thought she'd be able to, and there was some counter spell. One came from somebody invisible. If she didn't have her own mage sight up, it is possible she was not even aware of you guys. Yeah, so she's just like, well, something. And so, yeah, and then you're there. And so, yeah.
Isabel is petrified now.
Fantastic. Oh, yes.
Yeah, just this different tone, this different stance, the just Clark Kent to Superman. Like, if anybody else looked over, Isabel is looking different.
Yeah.
But she still looks like Isabel. But
it's only like if you interact with them that it's like, yeah.
And she has this kind of because especially if you don't have
headline wise, there's like a bit of a "don't fuck with me" face shift.
Yeah.
To Petrichor, but yeah.
Because Isabel, you can talk
and she just kind of like nods her head and says, "I think we need to get y'all on back to your camp." Yeah.
Yes. I I actually feel a little faint. Thank you. And Father Gabriel walks over, and Father Gabriel is an older guy compared to Sister Natalia, but come sister, and kind of takes her arm and nods to Petrichor and says, "Have a good night, sister." And then
Oh, she's walking with him.
I figured. And now do you like behind or like on the other side, like
On the other side.
side by side?
Yeah.
Yeah.
On the
So
other
it's
side.
not quite.
Does not presume to offer an arm.
Oh no, of course not.
Yes.
I mean, the lady has a man. Like there's no propriety here, and let's be honest.
So
Sheriff's got to keep the gun arms free.
Is Father Gabriel also a mage?
As far as you are able to pick up, they're related and are aware. This is the only time.
At least a sleepwalker, probably.
Correct. Father Gabriel was the one to react to a spell being cast.
Right. Okay.
So that doesn't necessarily mean that, because there are some sleepwalker talents that can't allow.
I was just trying to remember that there was at least something that, like, he's not
just a normal guy.
Right.
Yeah.
He's not just a priest that she's like latched herself onto. Right.
And then you're probably also remembering the hint Drew gave us where he was admiring the runes that were embossed
Yeah.
on Cloak's cloak. Cloak's tunic, I mean. Didn't you?
I wish to speak plainly with you two while we're walking back to your camp.
Yeah, and I imagine that
I'm done
line
with
is
the pretense of this.
I think that line comes out because the light is coming out from the tent. The sun is coming down, and I imagine we have the sun completely set. Like it is, we still have some light in the clouds and stuff like that. So in the sky, but the sun is completely set. Step from the light of the tent and in that kind of dimness of the town, and just drop the no pretenses.
Yeah.
And the father.
I think specifically what Petrichor says is we can talk plainly, or you can walk home in a storm.
It's true. It's probably still fucking cloudy too. It's probably cloudy as hell.
Good.
Yeah. And Sister Natalia is just kind of she has a 1,000-yard stare, right? Like she went from like, I have control, I know what's going on, to I might be out of my depth. And Father Gabriel nods and says, what do you want to speak about?
Why are you here?
Bluntly, because I was ordered.
By who?
Your father.
Is he associated with the Ganders?
I'm not familiar with the Ganders.
What is the name of the pylon?
Serpents.
The Serpents.
Like, both of them miss a step. Yeah. So, is my dad involved with the boogeyman? Not that I'm aware of.
Okay.
But how do you and then in whispered tones, right? How do you know about them? Like you guys are, a nowhere nameless order, and you're dropping oh yeah, the seer boogeymen. Yeah, how do you know about them?
Because
we stumbled upon their operations and have been engaging in some back and forth.
We're beefing with them.
I see. No.
So you can see how I might be on edge.
Your tolerance is greatly appreciated.
Now, what were you going to do on that hill?
And this entire time, Sister Natalia has not said a thing, right? And she turns and she says, I have a recurring nightmare, a dream that I should go there. I don't know to what purpose. I have a kind of compulsion to go there.
From one of your bosses?
You could say that.
One of the serpents was on that hill moments before you were turned around. Their nimbus is still there.
So we cut over to Theo and Helena up on the hill doing some investigation.
Real quick, Petrichor is so good. This is so good.
Petrichor is so fun. For Theo, are you on lookout or are you investigating?
I'm on lookout.
Okay. So Helena, you are diving into what did they try to do here, right?
Yeah.
Let us do another Gnosis in Prime.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Six.
I like that.
Oh, yeah.
Yay.
You know that to try and fully understand this spell is probably beyond you. Like there's a lot going on here. Specifically because I'm seeing Chris's face, because there is a lot of arcana involved here. One of them immediately flags, you're looking at this in Prime, and you're like, okay, I can see the structure of this. Oh, there's some stuff here with mind specifically. Like that one kind of stands out. And then a lot of I guess it would be fate. Yeah. But the part in mind, because I'm sure Helena has seen this in the kind of like negative space of I don't quite get this, but you recognize like the symbols that would be associated with possession, but not.
Cool.
Like there's something about like mind and inhabiting, and then some fate that you're like, I don't know what that's doing. And then but the thing, especially coming from an Abrimos and somebody who is a master of Prime, there is this framework of Prime that is setting this up, that is intricate and kind of links it all together. Yeah.
Is it any part of it still here?
Yes.
I want to kill it.
Okay. Well, that's actually very, very simple. That's Gnosis plus Prime. This is the Songbird special.
I guess I would like mention it to the others in case one of y'all wants to come look at it.
Yeah, I was just saying, because that is the alternate thing here. But yes, but
if you want to come, you should come soon, because I don't
want to keep this around.
I don't like this being here. Yeah.
I will go so far as to go ahead and mention that one of the aspects of the fate thing is that there is a conditional trigger.
Mm-hmm.
And you probably unconsciously do a
If you communicate that, Petrichor will say that she's rather occupied, and that our other fate mage should perhaps.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. We can get Legba and Catherine to come look at this.
Okay. Catherine is easily able to excuse herself from the tent. She has not made herself the center of attention up on the stage. So yeah, she kind of withdraws, and just as easy as needing to use the necessary. Oh my gosh. Craig says it all the time. Girds her loins. She tucks
Yes.
her and takes off at a hustle. She's like, a mystery, and we need the Fate Mage. I'm the Fate Mage. That's me. And starts hoofing it up there. So she'll be a minute.
You got this, honey.
we love spousal support here. And at the same time, man, you guys like, see, this is why mages aren't allowed to split the party, because even when they're together in the same area, they're still split. Well, okay, Ralph is a unique case. Legba, you show up in Camelot, astrally. And yeah, everything's normal here.
Well, Legbez Merlin would say to the king, please summon the Castellan.
And so he nods and he turns to the herald and says, Herald, summon the Castellan. And the Castellan nods and says, right away, my lord, and walks out from the throne room. And because of your inward-outward eye, walks out of the astral realm.
The herald does?
The
Fantastic.
herald does.
Awesome. Fantastic. Assumes that he might have a brief moment to just see where things are going, because, flipping back and forth is important.
Yep.
He can pay attention, to his physical body.
Yep.
He just can't move, right? So
yeah, right now I feel like you're in I can't really move around or do anything. I'm just watching here and I'm watching here.
Yeah. So he has an idea. I'm glad you brought up the outward and inward eye. So I think it would be reasonable for me to assume that based on his rank in space at this point, that the outward and inward eye has a range that is going to extend past where he is in the tent, right? Into the darkness. And so therefore he has a vantage point outside of the tent looking towards the hill.
Yeah.
He wants to cast 2 spells from that vantage point. First, he needs to shorten the distance to give himself perspective. So he's going to cast a patterning spell, I think.
Might I suggest
a ruling? Maybe,
I would say simply scry on.
Oh, scry.
Cabal mates.
Yeah. Yes, indeed. So yes, that makes more sense. So then he will rattle the chains, as that is his praxis, right? Along the chains of sympathy linking to the cabal mates, and scry directly from Helena's perspective.
Sure.
And then from that point, he will then scrutinize. And for the sake of Petrichor's benefit, he will attempt to cast an improvised spell to capture it. Remember Camera Obscura?
Oh, okay. Okay, I'm with you.
As the Free Council wrote, which would be, digitizing it. Instead, what he's going to try and do is produce a mental image of it.
Ooh.
So she can walk around in it. She can sniff it. She can lie in it. She can be herself in it.
Yeah.
That's neat.
The big sit down the 360 camera
VR.
Yep. Yeah. I like that.
Yeah.
Cool.
She's going to want to walk around it. She's not going to want to do what I do. So here's the experience.
I like that. Yeah, definitely well within the space arcana
cool.
for you, space and prime or mind. Chris, did Isabel continue? Therefore, you're continuing the escort down. Okay, cool. So we cut over to Catherine arriving and kind of hustling over, and then kind of sees Theodosia and Helena there in mage awesomeness, and she's in kind of sorts herself out and goes from schoolgirl to mage. She's still trying to figure out her shadow name, but
is Helena visible now?
Oh, that's true. Helena isn't visible. Yeah, very true. So it's just you.
I mean, I imagine at this point, probably not. I was mostly trying to use that to sneak out and follow.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
At this point, I don't need to hold on to it. So
Yep. Okay. And yeah, so looks at the two of you, kind of like rolls her sleeves up mentally, and gives Theo a little grin, gives Baba Sarah a little grin, and then like looks where Helena is standing and is like one step behind Helena from the space, and then kind of like kneels down and like tries to reach out, and like she definitely is still in that like newbie mage where she feels like she has to move her hands right to do stuff, as opposed to like experienced mages who are like, yes, I cast fireball with my hands in my pockets.
you can't do spells without, you gotta cast your spells.
Yeah.
Gotta do some witchy shit.
Yep. And that's what we call mudras. So yeah, she sits down and like starts to scrutinize, and she's got her whole Gnosis 1 Fate 2, and she works at it. Ralph,
I imagine.
Go ahead.
I was going to say offer in her support. I imagine at this point, because we have as a cabal come to understand that yantras that focus on vision, aid, and scrutiny, that we probably would have all tried to help her come up with something that matched the symbolism of her path, so that she would have some aid, considering she's newbie.
Oh yeah, she's got like I love what was it that Gisela used?
Hagstone.
Yeah. For in my head, that's just like, hey, the Lasticanthus used this, and she was like, all right, cool,
Great.
Cool. And just that way we can have a wink of Gisela still around.
That's real nice.
It reminds me, by the way, that Theo has a plan. We can talk about it later.
Okay. I mean, yeah, when you have that much matter, you can make any yantra you want. So yeah, she sits and she works. Ralph, from your perspective, Cloak is able to see her burning through her willpower, right? Getting through it. Ash, you're able to see she's putting a lot of mana into trying to get those additional successes. And she burns herself out in a like she goes all out, throws all her willpower at it, all her mana at it, and kind of like she does her best. She's still baby mage, right? And kind of
how much mana can her pattern hold? I don't remember.
10. She's baby mage.
No.
Good, Layla.
Theo just kind of put a hand on her shoulder and channel mana for 5.
Yeah, I was gonna see if there was anything we could do to try to.
Oh yeah,
I like that.
It's an anime scene and all coming ever channeling it
so,
in.
So yeah, actually, I like that because she has to burn mana at a slower rate than y'all can, because you're
once
throwing,
per turn.
Right. You guys are throwing 5 or whatever per turn. She's definitely so yeah, this actually ends up dragging out a little bit more because she basically burns her 1 willpower and then a handful of mana. Okay. 1 willpower, handful of mana. You're taking, quite a few turns.
Like cleaning up her mess out of it too.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, if she has dramatic failure. Actually, yeah, that's true.
She doesn't have a lot of rolls until it's a risk.
Yeah.
So
that's true. Yeah. So you guys are working.
We probably wouldn't want her to go forever.
Well, because you have, as Chris was saying, you have the prime to cleanse pattern. And so it's like, oh, that's a mess up. It's okay. Yeah. And like, I can see Theo here. Like, it's okay, honey. I got this. Keep going. Cleaning up and keeping her pattern out of it. And it's a group effort. Cloak is also scrutinizing.
Okay. Of course.
Cool. Because this has become a group effort, I'm not going to drag this out.
Sure.
It is a complex spell. Looking over this, the group of y'all, there is some semblance of entities. Though you probably do not recognize the practice. It is something you are familiar with because Archmage Rilla Remington did talk a little bit about the things she's capable of in a very braggy way. Yep. And possibly Helena has heard the myths of what Archmasters can do. But yeah, there's something about this, and that is the thing specifically on the prime side that you all recognize is why, like Helena, you're looking at this. There's a whole lot of prime here that is just that step above you. You're like, ooh, hang on. Like,
Right.
you have an idea of what's going on here. The fate stuff, Catherine reports, this is entirely, there's just a very simple, like, I could do this conditional release of this spell.
Yeah.
And Cloak, you are definitely able to confirm with your mind that, yeah, this is like possession. And I think as y'all are talking mentally about this, Isabel chimes in, what you're describing sounds almost like fettering.
Oh.
Not possession.
Mm-hmm.
So were they trying to catch her?
What is the trigger? What is the conditional?
When Sister Natalia steps into this space, says Catherine.
Yeah. We did her a favor.
Possibly.
You'll communicate that to me?
Yeah.
Yeah.
She was going to be used.
So what does she say?
What do you
in response
tell her?
to? Well, because I had previously asked a question.
Oh,
or I previously had said that one of the nimbus of one of the serpents was
right.
sitting on the hilltop where you were headed.
Right.
Oh, that's what you cut off.
And you have probably continued this walk because Catherine takes a minute. Cloak probably takes a little less time, but everybody trying to figure out what the heck this prime scaffolding thing is. And Sister Natalia, like, suddenly gets her spine back and looks and she says, if that was what I was supposed to find, then so be it. And, like, you've heard of seers like this, prelate, right? Those who are the real believers.
She has some exotic dreams going on.
Yeah, so by the time we've like walked and talked, now I'm getting the info from them. You would have been fettered in some sort of way by an archmaster had you stepped into that space.
The archmasters wanted to use me, and she says with a beaming smile,
Petrichor just spits on the ground.
No hope for her.
Good.
She has really poor survival instincts.
prelacy, man, not even once.
A true believer.
We get them sweet benefits from the merits. It's so tasty.
Believe what you want, but my cabal and my coven and I have just saved your soul.
And as we near the end of our episode, we of course look and be like, well, what was she going to be fettered with?
Oh, I know.
Oh, you all know, but yeah. Yeah, that scaffolding extends up like a satellite dish.
That's what I was wondering. I think I wanted to see if it went anywhere. Yeah.
Yep. It's a big old satellite dish funnel thing that is the thing, especially as you start to study it. And this is actually the reason why I was talking about Helena doesn't look up. Yeah, because that thing extends up and up and up, and this great big funnel to pour that thing into Sister Natalia. So here's my question. Do you all destroy the spell?
Can we?
Can we?
No.
Yeah.
Do you try?
No. No. We do not
Don't
destroy
try?
it. Cloak says I can make it impossible for anyone to get into the spell.
Yeah, I think that's better.
Yeah,
We don't know
seal it
their-
away somehow.
If this is
Yes.
Archmage, they might have like layers of traps there.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
If we try and
I don't
dispel
wanna
it, we
risk-
could fire something else
Yeah.
off.
And I think both Ash and Helena are like, I don't want to risk that. Hang on.
Especially after seeing the thing and teleporting 8 hours in the future.
They have, like, if this is discussed at all, including Petrichor,
Oh yeah, I'm
Yeah,
sure
of
this is
course.
all
like,
happening.
they have space mages. They can dispel any block you put on it.
Not
Let's
if there are
just
1,000 of
destroy
them and
this
they can't
spell.
figure out what I've done.
For the short term, at least.
What Cloak says, Petrichor, I believe that is a good point. My perspective is that it would be advantageous if we do not communicate to the creator of this spell that we have destroyed it,
Sure.
and if there is
So
a
I
way to
suppose you can
prevent that.
Keep Natalia out for now.
That's what I was thinking. If we could just not let her walk into it, or
I'll
anyone
just
else.
kill her if you want.
What he says is I am going to teleport this space away.
Okay.
The spell is there. I contain it in something, and I put it in a pocket dimension
Yeah,
that no one can
quarantine.
reach. Yes, I just quarantine it elsewhere. I put it behind a quarantine somewhere.
Okay.
Yeah, and then the spell exists, but it's not here.
It's a starting point.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
So I like that.
for starters, yes, exactly.
So yeah, we end with the sky becoming dark and this circle space that, describes the fettering, and it's just gone. And there's just the space is just sealed up. It's not like Ban where like you can walk through it. This space is just gone.
So is the hilltop not there?
No, because I mean, could do just little arms wide little thing. So
It's the size of the spell, right?
Yep.
yeah,
Whatever
Okay.
the definition of here is for
Mm-hmm.
when Sister Natalia gets here.
technically,
Mm.
I in my head the funnel shape just appears out of nowhere. But yeah, the space where Sister Natalia would have to walk into is just not
It's
there.
gone.
Still probably need to keep an eye on her. There is a mage,
Mhm.
there, but at least for now, there's not a easy, I just walk over here.
Yeah,
And
like
it
I said, if
happens.
you teleport something away,
Mhm.
then how are they going to access it?
So
If that fetter had gone off over the wireless, if that fetter had gone off, that would have blown through our ward pretty easily, I presume.
Ward
That's
wouldn't
what it would have done.
What ward do you mean?
The protecting the imps little barrier.
that just keeps people from entering
From
Purgatory
finding.
Bluff.
Yeah, that's a bubble on the outside. That doesn't do anything
And
on the
it-
inside.
Only wards off people who mean harm to those in Purgatory Bluff.
Right, but if she were fettered, because there's still
A fettered thing inside, yeah, they've completely bypassed the ward. They're inside now.
Yes.
that would blow right through the ward.
I thought you meant like destroying
not
it. but
blow
yeah.
right through it, more just like
It's just already on this side of it.
skip
Yep.
past.
Yep.
Yeah.
So just as a final thought, my question is: was this a message, or was this something done with intent?
I think
Intent.
they want that.
Heartbreak.
I think
And yeah,
that was. I think they intend to do things to us. This is an escalation. I think that in the event of that entity causing problems for us, it will then also become a tool for them.
Well, but that's kind of my question: was this about us, or was this about that?
Both.
Almost certainly both.
Makes you
I
feel
suspect
warm
one of
and
them.
fuzzy inside.
Yes.
This whole conversation in
Yeah.
Petrichor's mind is happening while she's considering whether she's about to have to
Yep.
like
kill
fight
Natalia.
or
This
kill
zealot.
Natalia or
Yeah.
Oh, they
or
need
what
to
she's
go.
gonna do. Yeah,
Oh, they need to go. Yeah,
for sure.
they cannot stay. But of course, Cloak isn't going to enforce that because, as he said many times, right? Like Isabel's the sheriff, and therefore this is also something that Petrichor gets to do, right? So, with our support. But Cloak does also say one additional reason why I would like to keep the spell is if we are dealing with archmages, we have to accept that there is one archmage that at least does not mean direct harm to us. And as far as I have been led to believe, archmages enjoy jockeying with each other. So perhaps there is a way that an intact spell will allow Rilla to gain some advantage against another archmage.
Got to figure out how to reach out to Archmage Rilla and
Indeed.
be like, "Hey, come get your kid." Well, actually, come get your buddy. Yeah, that's fun. So yeah, we'll leave it there before we discuss more. You guys can chat on Discord. www.yeetinto.space. You won't be able to see what conversation they have about what they might want to do, but you can come and talk about this episode in our Into the West spoiler chat. Well, actually, it's the channel for that. Yes.
Real quick, you just said yeet into space.
Mhm.
What they were trying to do is kind of yeet out or from space.
Yeah, it's the emotion out of outer space. It's
Yeah,
the color
eat
out of
into
space.
dot minion.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeet
Nick
into
Cage,
dot
was she gonna-
minion.
That's right.
Ooh, banana.
To reiterate, so nobody else gets confused, www.yeetintospace to come to our Discord, come chat with us, talk about our lame jokes. If you want to support us monetarily, that's www.staylucky.club. We appreciate all your guys' support, likes, comments, subscribes, all that kind of stuff. It means a lot to us. And we'll see you on the next episode.
Later.
Bye.